Hello everybody and welcome back to Analog Vernacular. Today we're going to be playing some more Fire Emblem 3 Houses. Continuing on, we just did 3 battles. And we should be at a weekend now. So I think we have a couple of supports that we can do. And then we'll probably explore and get our motivations back up for some more instruction later this month. And then we'll see what we're doing after that. Maybe there will be another set of battles. We'll take a look at the calendar and see what we can accomplish. The only reason I would do another set of battles, I think, would be for class masteries. Because the experience is so goddamn low. So that would be kind of the only reason. So, yeah, let's look. So we will have next weekend for more battles. Maybe that is what we'll do. Is just work on class mastery. Make sure that everybody's on a new class if possible, and go from there. Okay, Roth and Ingrid. They must have gotten theirs just simply by having her be an adjutant.
Is that Ingrid? I'd better get out of here before she scolds me again.
Run, Roth.
Actually, she looks kind of sad. Maybe I shouldn't run away. Hey, Ingrid! Why do you look so sad? Are you hungry or something?
They both do love food.
Oh, it's you.
They should get along.
No, I'm not hungry.
You're not hungry, but you're sad anyway? I don't get it. Are you sick?
For Roth, there's only 2 reasons to be sad. You're hungry, or you're sick.
No.
Then are you sure you're not hungry?
I just told you that wasn't it. It's nothing you can help with anyway.
Well, sometimes you gotta talk it out. That's what my grandpa says.
Yeah, I guess that's helpful sometimes. Are you willing to listen then?
Of course! Please, go ahead.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
I found a letter from back at the academy that my father sent, regarding a marriage arrangement with a noble family.
I see.
I am the only person in House Galatea capable of carrying on our family line, of passing on a crest.
Ah, I see.
But I chose instead to fight, betraying my family and ruining my father's plans for me.
I see.
Raphael, are you even listening?
I'm right there with you, but...
It's hard to focus when you're hungry.
Did you hear that ominous sound? Is that thunder?
Sorry. All that listening made me hungry.
Okay, I'm just going to point out, intelligent systems, do better on your sound effects.
After hearing you out, I think you're probably just hungry too. And your troubles are sure to go away after a good meal.
I really am not hungry. But I can't say no to good food. All right, let's just eat then. I can tell you about my struggles some other time, maybe.
I of course say that out of love. Intelligent systems, you did great on this game. I just want you to improve on the next one too. This one was such an improvement on just the basic formula. Ooh, Hilda and Cyril finally got their first one. This will be interesting.
Hey, Cyril. What are you up to? Working?
You're in the way, Hilda. Move.
Ooh.
How rude. I'm not in the way.
And we know now that he has pretty good reason to not really like her family.
Are you just here to goof off?
And she's just clueless about it.
No, I'm here to feed the horses, actually.
Uh-huh. Where's the fodder then?
I wasn't sure where to find it. Can you help with that?
I'll take care of it. I'm cleaning the place anyways.
Oh, thanks. It's great to have you on the job. I know you'll handle it perfectly.
Yeah, well, I don't like it when I feel like I'm not doing my part.
You're always so focused on the task at hand. Sometimes I almost forget you're Almiran. I always thought they were a rough and unreliable sort of people.
Oh, girl.
Though,
Girl.
you're not really like the rest of them. You seem normal for the most part.
Okay, Hilda. Check yourself. I love you, girl, but come on, check yourself.
Rough and unreliable, huh?
My family has to fight against Almiran sometimes. Not that my father or brother ever clued me in on what the battles were like. But I do know that armies from Elmira will attack without reason and break treaties and tell lies.
Well, that sounds like propaganda.
Everyone says they're a bunch of brutes.
Yeah? Huh.
Am I boring you? I'm talking about your people.
Those aren't my people. I was just born there.
Okay, let's turn the tables. How do the people of Fodlan seem to you, from an Almiran perspective?
Huh.
That look on your face. Are you okay?
I can't tell you what I think of folks from Fodlan. I don't really got an impression of them altogether.
What's that supposed to mean?
There's all sorts of different people everywhere. You can't say everybody of one place is any one thing.
Good for you, Cyril. Like, even just having the presence of mind to know, well, I haven't seen everything. I don't know. People over in the Alliance might be completely different from the people in the Empire, which is totally true.
It's no different when you're talking about Fodlan or Elmira or any place else. And wherever you go, you see people in power keep the weak ones down.
Yep. Yeah, we're definitely going to see more of that one, for sure. Okay, Happy and Yuri. That's interesting. Because I think we had Happy and Balthus paired, so I think it's interesting that we got the Yuri one first. It just must have been a lot closer.
So Happy, are you going back home or what?
That came out of nowhere. Haven't you noticed there's a war going on? I can't leave now.
Hadn't noticed. Nope. Now that I have, will you head home once it's over
Sarcasm.
to check on your parents?
No. Even after the war, I can't return. With my curse, I might destroy the whole village. I won't put them at
Aw.
risk like that.
True. I want to say you could go there and everything would be dandy. The way things tend to shake out, though, it can be pretty hard not to sigh.
What about you? You don't mind spending all this time away from wherever you call home?
Can't say I've spent much time thinking about it. Maybe after the war is over. I've got plenty to keep me occupied. If I drop things and head home, my people will lose respect for me. I can't have that.
I see.
What would he consider home? He's drifted from so many different places. So, like, House Row was one, right? Who's the most recent one that he... Like, who's the one that he's a vassal of now or whatever? The house that he's with now. I can't remember.
I know I should visit home
Maybe
at
that
some
one
point.
is House Row and it's a different one from
It's
before.
been more than
I
a
can't
decade
remember.
since I left, though. They probably think I died.
They might. All the more reason for you to go back.
And he was staying over at the Varley's place when he was a kid, we know that. And then now he's the leader of a bunch of mercenaries, basically. So I would say that probably just his mercenaries are probably what he would consider his home.
I know you're scared, but if you keep your visit brief, it'll work out fine. I don't know about yours, but my mother would want to know that I'm okay.
I suppose I could stop by for a short visit. That might be nice.
I can't remember
Still
what his
worried?
hometown is, though.
I can accompany you. I'm sure you'll find some use for me.
Huh?
You know you'll be so caught up in my lively conversations, you'll have very little time for sighing.
That plan could backfire. I might find the conversation boring, and then...
That would never happen. I wouldn't allow for it. And on the off chance a beast does appear, well, that'll clear up your boredom pretty quickly, won't it?
You've got a weird sense of humor, Yuri Bird. I like that.
Yuri Bird and Coco.
I guess I wouldn't feel so nervous about going home if you went with me. I might even have a good time. When you're there, you feel closer to the stars. They look so clear and bright. I'd love to show you.
I look forward to it. I bet we'll even see some of the stars you taught me about.
And maybe I'll finally lay eyes on that constellation you told me about. A fishing rod, was it?
Once again, Yuri and Bernie, all the way. It's happening. But you two can be friends. Okay. that's all of those. Now, somebody did tell me in the comments that I should look at Claude's ability, because they change after they get updated, basically, after time skip, right? So, allows unit to pass through spaces occupied by foes, and multiplies it. Oh, so that must be the new thing. He has pass now, basically. Huh. I'm assuming that that's the new thing that they wanted me to see, is that he now has pass. So even when he's not in a Wyvern class, he would be able to pass through enemies. See, I wouldn't have noticed that while he's in his Wyvern Master class, because he can just fly over him anyway, but that is good to know. We might, like, make him an assassin at some point, just to go through that class, and having pass would be good. I think it's only thieves that have pass natively, right? Assassins do or don't? I'd have to look. But we do need to look at certifications anyway, so... let's see. You went through Assassin. Okay, we need to get an Abyssian exam pass when we explore today. That way... No, we have one. I thought like 60% was the cutoff for you to be able to class. Why am I not able to take this class mastery exam? Is it... Well, we already know that multiple people can be the same class because we have Lysithea and that, so maybe these just have a higher percentage threshold in order to take the exam? Alright, once we get Faith up, right? It's Faith for this one, Trickster. Maybe we'll be able to take that. We'll have to check that again once we're... Alright, hold on. The required Abyssian exam pass, total 1. When it says total 1, is that saying that I have one, or that it takes one? Because maybe we don't have one in our inventory. I don't know. We'll check. We'll check later. I'll check now. Convoy. Can I look at my convoy, please? I guess we can do it this way. Yeah, so we do have one. Interesting. Okay. We need to use some of those stat up items too at some point soon. Alright. At any rate, Byleth, you do have other options, but we're going to keep you an enlightened one for now. But the reason why I really like the idea of Trickster is because we'll still have Canto and the ability to use magic. And that just sounds really good for her, as opposed to Mortal Savant, which is not... It's fine, but it's not my favorite master class, if I'm being honest, so yeah. Trickster just sounds really appealing for Byleth. Looks like you can at least try to class into Assassin. You haven't even finished Sniper yet. I'd probably want you to finish Sniper. So we don't need to worry too much about that right now, I don't think. Okay, Lorenz, you're probably getting somewhat... Okay, you've got a while for that one. And then after that, we're going to take you to Dark Knight, so maybe we should try doing that. I'm going to go ahead and save. And we're going to try and class that. I think he would make a really good Dark Knight. Damn it, he got it too. Good job, man. Was there... Not yet. Dude, that'll be great. I really like the idea of him as a Dark Knight. Okay, you can't get into a master class yet. I haven't really diversified your stuff yet. It may not be a bad idea to take him through Armored Knight to get that defense boost at some point, so that might be something to consider. How close is he on Grappler? He's still got some time, so I don't necessarily need to worry about getting him classed into something right away. And he has 100% odds of passing, so I just need an intermediate seal. Okay. I might just buy that and do it now, that way I have it ready. And I mean, these ones don't take that long to master, so...
Yeah!
You know, if we give him a knowledge gem and throw him on some missions, it may not be so bad. Alright, I should probably start passively working on him getting the ability to class into Assassin. I think that having him go through an Assassin class might be incredibly useful. It'd take forever to get that sword up though, because we have not been working on it at all. But I honestly don't think it would be a bad idea, so... Only 33%? Okay, he's got some work to do before he's able to class that. But... Oh, that's right, we have him in a Cavalier as an option as well right now. Okay, so what... For this, he needs Lance and Riding, which is probably his goals right now. What are your goals right now, Ignatz? Yeah, we're gonna keep him in that and not worry about focusing on Assassin right now. He doesn't feel like he's struggling too bad right now, so I'm not gonna worry about that. So we'll let him keep working on that. And then if we want to later, maybe we can try some other things. I'm going to quickly look up what the mastery is for Warlock. Give me just a second. Okay, so Warlock gives you Bowbreaker. I suppose that could be useful. Do I want to take her off Dark Flyer for a bit to do that? I don't really know. Remery is just going to be a Defiant ability. I've never been super pleased with the Master abilities that you get for class mastery. I don't know. What? Somebody... I want to hear some other perspectives. I never use Defiant abilities because I hate the idea of having my characters ever get to the point where they're 25% HP or lower. It seems rather unlikely that we will end up in places like that very often, where that would be useful, and I try not to let my people get hurt that much. And in Maddening, I feel like people are either going to be able to just massacre us or not be able to kill us, one of the two. But getting us below 25% health, I don't know, man. But I want to hear of other people who maybe have used Defiant abilities and think that they're good, or whether you've used Defiant abilities and found them to be completely useless. And I want that lens in a Maddening run. How do people like Defiant skills in a Maddening run? I still don't see them as being useful, but I haven't actually tried them out, so because I don't see them as useful. But yeah, maybe Warlock at some point. We could try that out, but man, having her just stay as a Valkyrie just seems so valuable. We might just continue to do that. Now, what about your advanced class? What does the Bishop get? Bishops... Unit recovers up to 20% of max HP at the start of each turn. I can't see that being that useful. Marianne almost never takes damage at all. I don't put her into positions where she can normally take damage, but I don't know. Right now I have her working on Mage, which will give her plus in Magic. That seems okay. And maybe in the future we can make her a Grimory as well. Oh yeah, you did finish that. So I need to reclass you. And I'm guessing right now her goals are working her towards... Okay, she's working on Axe. Oh crap, we probably need to be working on flying some more with her if we want her master class to go towards more Wyvern. Yeah, flying and lance is what she needs to be working on. Okay. Yeah, let's change her goals right now while we're thinking about it. I know this is taking a bit, but it's important for me to do this. And I feel like sometimes I go a little bit too fast on these areas, and then I don't really help myself out very much in those cases. Alright, you're ready for your master class when you're done. How close are you on Wyvern? Very close. Nice. Very close. What other things would I want her to go through, possibly? I don't really know. I wonder if there's anybody I want to make a Holy Knight. That might be something I could also put Lorenz through after he finishes Dark Knight. Yeah, maybe. Okay, you're so close to being done with Assassin, then we'll move you back to Trickster. How close are you on Trickster? You got some time. You've mastered that. I don't know what ability you got from that. Probably this? Brawl avoidance, huh? I do like that. That sounds really nice. Probably lose the strength 2 for that. He is using a couple axes. So I don't know if I want to lose the axe prowess. Let's try that out. And let's reclass him so he's working on something. So we can put him in Grappler for a bit. Then later, if we want to, we can put him back into War Monk. He will not have the ability to heal in his current class. Okay, riding is our biggest problem with you, and probably with Lysithea as well. Yeah. Are both of their goals only riding? Okay, good. And now that you're at A+, I think I'm going to put you on only riding as well. Okay. I feel pretty good about that. Let's go ahead and explore. I'm going to buy 3 Abyssian passes, because I want 1 for Byleth, I think, and I need 2 for the Valkyries. So I only need to buy 2 more, actually, because I have 1 in my inventory already. Also, there is a quest that I need to complete. that I realized I was doing some research and trying to like reread a bunch of the books off screen, and I realized that I didn't do the quest where I turned in the book and opened up the library in Abyss. So we're going to do that today and read some of those things in the library as well.
Professor.
Let's see. Yeah, over here. Boom, we pick this up, list of rare books. We need to bring that to a guy out in Garreg Mach, and then we will be able to read books in this library. Now, I did read those books off screen, and I'm going to read them again together with you guys because I found them to be pretty interesting. Offer renown for 2 of these.
Oh, wow, thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, I believe he's just over here in the courtyard. Not loaded in yet.
My savior, thank
Oh,
you.
her. Thank you. Here, I've made a copy. Perhaps the books included in this list will be of use to you as well. I wonder what you'll find if you search the archives in Abyss. Alright, well, thank you. While we're out here, let's just do some of our general things real quick. Somebody also gave me a comment on how to get certain stat items on this. What I need to do is I need to find that comment again and copy it into my notes, and perhaps we can start targeting certain stat items that we want. Notably for me, it feels like the ones that I might target the most would be like speed carrots. Speed seems to be something that I wish I had more of as we get into this post-time skip area, so... And apparently these colored flowers are pretty big on that, but... Like, I'm just gonna do a test here. Because I have so many yellow flowers, I'm just gonna do all yellow flowers, and... I can't remember what the comment said, but it was like a mix of things, but... It seemed like it got pretty in-depth on how to combine things, but I'm just gonna see what happens with this. Let's do the advice box.
Right.
In the past, I would nearly pass out if I got splattered by an enemy's blood. Nowadays, I remain entirely conscious, even if my face is drenched in blood. It's disgusting. You know, it's natural to feel repelled by the horrors of war. Okay, I need to work on faith for myself. Maybe I'll do some of that, and... I also do need to make sure that we have, what, 7 people that have full motivation? Alright. Okay, let's work on some faith. Mercy and Marianne here can help me with that a little bit.
Professor, you're here. Hi there.
Even with a god, I hope.
Hey, Ma, at your no.
Then Heart, you can do faith, right? Or do you only do reason?
Professor? The personal I've been with now that we're all.
Ooh. If I can find one more, we can at least get to a B. I don't think Lysithea does, but maybe. She does have some faith that's beyond where I'm at, I think, so yeah. Okay.
I'm getting the.
Okay, I know Lysithea and Constance. I want to make sure that they can work on horseback a little bit. So, Lysithea, who do you need supports with? Balthus.
Look at the little...
When the occasion.
I think Constance also needs Balthus. No, she needs Happy. Good. That works out. We'll do Constance and Happy.
Behold for Coco.
Okay, Claude and Petra and Claude and Ingrid. Okay, Petra doesn't like that one. They've got two more. I know they don't like each other, but I'm seeing this one through to the end.
That smell.
I think it's...
Okay, maybe the Cyril and Hilda? To keep working on that one.
Yummy.
I've got.
And maybe the Marianne Hanneman?
I like
This.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Five, 6. We have 6 people in main party that are ready, so that'll do. Okay, let's go and read some of those books. In the Forbidden Library. Just to be clear, these are books that the church don't want people reading. So of course they're going to have really interesting things in them. Alright, so let's do this. A letter to a mysterious noble. My beloved, you were right. It seems he would not hesitate to divide the house. What's more, I hear he's considering taking his half of the territory and joining the kingdom. I can't believe he would even consider dragging another region into this, not to mention stirring up trouble over his inheritance. At a time when the Alliance desperately needs to unite, he's clearly out of his mind. Though he bears a major crest and you a minor crest, your father was wise in his attempt to declare you his heir. As it were, I can't help but wonder what your intentions with me are. I am drowning in letters proposing marriage to that beast. He may share your face, but the resemblance ends there. I refuse to marry such a foul creature. If you don't come to me soon, I am going to you. Don't forget that my father's blessing could be revoked at any moment. I will depart Deirdre at the end of the lone moon. You had better be prepared for my arrival. I wish to marry you beneath the Garland moon. Why? Well, I am a woman after all, and even I harbor dreams of being a Garland bride. Understood? Great. Make it so. Claudia, second daughter of House Regan. Okay, so this, if I'm remembering correctly, there are, when we read the books about some of the other houses, there is one house that was gifted a noblehood in the kingdom because they defected and split off from the Alliance. And I think that's what this is talking about here, and I can't remember what house it was that ends up on the kingdom side. I'd have to go and look at those books again to piece that all together, but basically, yeah, that's kind of what that's talking about, is how that split happens, I guess. An antiquated note, a scrap of paper stuck between the pages of a book. It appears to be incredibly old. Moose meat. Albinian moose is preferable. If unavailable, beef or horse meat may be substituted, though the dish's unique flavor will be somewhat altered. Goddess Messenger. Be sure to skin, gut, and clean the fish before use. Zanotto treasure fruit, seasoning and spices. This is a special dish prepared for the new emperor at ceremonies. Though its ingredients are extremely rare, making it rather expensive, chefs must restrain themselves from sneaking bites during preparation. And I wonder if that's something that can actually be cooked. I know we can get moose meat, right? The Goddess Messenger is one of the really rare fish, I think, that you can get. Now, I don't know about treasure fruit and the seasoning and spices. Adrestian rock salt, herbs of Vargas, honey of Leicester. But I wonder if that's actually a dish that we can make now that we've read that book. Somebody let me know in the comments. The Feast of Decadence. The seventh song, banquet celebrating the marriage of the young emperor Lycion III, continued until the full moon waned to a half moon. The waitstaff scurried about the castle refilling golden glasses. All present savored the taste of the fine Bacchus from Baramus, as well as the screams of the northern swordsmen as they were torn apart by wild beasts during the, sounds like they were having some kind of competition, arena style. Continuing on in a different section, the countless dishes on the banquet tables were each overflowing with spectacular offerings. Treats themed after the four saints graced massive platters, just waiting for our greedy fingers to snatch them up. In honor of St. Keyhole, guardian of the land, prime Gronder wheat was used to bake endless loaves of delectable bread. In honor of St. Sethlene, savory fish was presented, and we do know that's one of her favorites. A dish she is believed to have loved. You are not wrong. When the clown, dressed as St. Saros, decapitated the criminal dressed as Nemesis with a single swing, oh lovely, they actually did that for real. They actually had a criminal dressed up as Nemesis and cut his head off in front of people. Lovely. I'm guessing that this happened, yeah, it's interesting seeing that this is something that was put into this library, which means that the church doesn't want people reading about it. The spectators cheered with unbridled enthusiasm. A young man, staring at Emperor Wilhelm as he caught the saint and pulled her into a close embrace, suddenly beckoned me. He pressed his lips to my ear and whispered sweet nothings, mirroring Emperor Wilhelm and St. Saros upon the stage. The date of removal and Sedith's signature follow. It appears to be a novel set in the Adrestian Empire. It has sustained a great damage, so nothing else is legible. Interesting that they call it a novel. Does that imply that it is fiction? I don't know if calling it a novel necessarily means that it's a piece of fiction, though, so maybe not. Words of Love, Table of Contents, How to Compliment a Lover, The Art of Seduction, The Myth of True Love Singularity, Gifting St. Sethlene's Love Garland. Ooh, yeah, I'm sure Sedith really liked that one. Alone Time and Greeting the Dawn. The date of removal and Sedith's signature follow. It seems this was briefly part of the monastery's library, but all pages are missing save the table of contents. Because it's all about, the art of seduction, and I don't know what St. Sethlene's love garland is, but I'm sure that Sedith did not like the idea of that. Burnt remnants of a report, burned papers that resemble a report of some sort. A few passages survived the fire and are still legible. Oh, so a bunch of these were also burned in the fire back in the day with our Pops. When the fire happened and he escaped, huh? Item 18, Part 5, The Fargus Rebellion. I harbor doubts about the army Lug has raised. How did he recruit soldiers without raising suspicions in the Empire? How did he acquire those mysterious weapons, so like Hero's relics? What is the true identity of Pan, the tactician rumored to have been integral to Lug's victories, and those who slither in the dark? This one I find really interesting. So, I mean, this almost implies that maybe Lug, who is the descendant of the kingdom royalty, so Dimitri's descendants, may have had ties with those who slithered in the dark, and they're the ones who gifted the relic weapons to them. Now, Pan, the tactician, that's also interesting. Yeah, I don't know, I find that interesting. What if there was like DLC about this Pan? Do we hear anything more about this Pan? Maybe there's something in this playthrough that'll tell us more about Pan the tactician. Was Pan mentioned? I just reread the other day the Kingdom books and all the other books in the main library, and I don't remember Pan being mentioned when it came to Lug. I can't think of any other place where Pan is mentioned. Let me know if I've seen Pan mentioned somewhere else, but please do not tell me if it's not something I've experienced yet in the game. Item 22, Part 2. Hold on. Oh yeah, that's the one we read. Okay. The Shadowed Order of the Knights of Seiros believes that King Klaus, the first of Fargus, was assassinated. Everyone believes that his will, which demands the territory be divided among the three princes and fails to name a successor, is a fake. The purpose was likely to involve the Leicester region and display a greater military force than the Empire. Okay, so some possible interference from the Knights of Seiros, although this could also just be speculation. This person who's writing this clearly doesn't know the truth of the matter, so there is definitely some gray area here. But you can see that it's kind of like a biased take. Somebody who does not like the church, which is probably why it ended up in this library, is this book was clearly written by somebody who was critical of the church, the Shadowed Order of the Knights of Seiros, which, like, yeah, the Church of Seiros is hiding a lot of secrets. The thing is, though, is that Rhea and, Seteth clearly is obviously, like, the main ones that are hiding the things. The main Church of Seiros probably isn't privy to a lot of the things that are being hidden from them. But yeah, I feel like we're going to get more information about all of the church stuff in this route. And those who slither and all sorts of stuff. So I'm really interested to learn that stuff. Burnt Remnants of Rapport, Item 49, Part 18, The Tragedy of Dusker, after which more members of the Western Church are strongly criticizing the Central Church, seems to be a theme. Among them are those who claim the incident in Dusker was the work of the Shadowed Order of Knights of Seiros. It was those who slither, and I think that when they're talking about the Shadowed Order of the Knights of Seiros, they actually mean those who slither. And I think that maybe there's people who suspect that those who slither is a part of the church when they're really not. And having that tie is actually interesting because, well, if the wider world and other factions of the church from other places in these different kingdoms thinks that the main church has this shadow organization, when that's actually those who slither in the dark, that actually lends a little bit more credence to, well, no it doesn't. I was going to say it adds a little bit more credence to Edie and her fight against the church, but since she's working with the real those who slither in the dark, that doesn't really hold any water, so I take that back. She knows who the real those who slither are, and she's working with them, so that doesn't work for me. But the point still remains that there are people out in the world who think that those who slither is a part of the church. It seems a confrontation over the dogma's legitimacy is inevitable. Soon, the child of House Gaspard, and then it continues. The child of House Gaspard. I'm trying to figure out what the tie of the child of House Gaspard has to anything else that's being discussed here. Huh. I honestly don't know. But there's a reason that was put in there. and it's to help us make connections, and I'm not able to make the connection. Somebody help me out if you know, and if it's not a spoiler for something we're going to learn later. Item 51, Part 6. Son of the Alliance's leader, Duke Oswald Regan, has died in an accident. This follows an incident involving the previous successor. And even the Knights of Saros suspect it was at Count Gloucester's command, though it seems too conspicuous. There is some concern that this could spark a war. With Duke Regan gravely ill, the situation is... This one I also find really interesting. This one just flat out tells us that Oswald Regan, I believe that this is the same Duke that's supposed to be Claude's father. His son died in an accident. So either that's true, and Claude isn't the true son of the Duke, or, and I assume we're going to find more about this, he's a mysterious character, our Claude, and we know he's very intelligent, but, or he, disappeared and he is thought to be dead until he comes back. Interesting stuff. Okay, Encyclopedia of Fodlan's Insects. The book's title does not match its content, suggesting a false cover. It seems to be a catalog of some kind. Distance viewer based on glasses. By combining glasses lenses, one can view great distances with enhanced clarity. Crafting such a tool was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. 1. The ease of locating enemy camps would escalate wartime violence. 2. It would be too easy to snipe from afar. 3. It would lessen the mystery of the goddess, who watches from above. I don't like that. Basically, especially that last one, it would lessen the mystery of the goddess who watches from above. That's such just like a shitty religious bullshit sort of thing to say. And there's a couple in here that do that. And like, I am pretty against religion in the real world here, and I've been pretty forgiving of the Church of Fodlan in this game, but there are a couple things, and obviously Rhea's like hiding a lot of stuff, and I've always been a little bit critical of that in Rhea, and always been suspicious of Rhea in that sense, but when it comes down to it, I still end up siding with the church more so than with Edie when it comes down to it, for lots of reasons that you all have seen as I go through these games. So yeah, like, I never want somebody to think that I'm not critical of the Church of Fodlan, or of Rhea, or the decisions of hiding things that she has made. But when it comes down to it, the things that Edie does are so goddamn egregious to me personally, that like, that's just where I end up landing, is like, well, when we're choosing between these different sides, I think I know where I land. I think I know where I land, but that does not mean that I'm not critical of the church and stuff like this. So yeah, okay, flammable black water, probably oil. A sticky black liquid was discovered in northern Fargus. It burns fiercely and emits a highly toxic gas. The use of this wicked substance was forbidden by decree of the Archbishop for the following reasons. Misuse could result in accidental death. It could be used tactically by those lacking magical ability, and competition for it could cause strife. So those last two could be used by those lacking magical ability and competition that could cause strife. Basically, oil could change the power dynamics in the country, and Rhea does not want that to happen. So there is proof in this book particularly that Rhea does influence the world and tries to make sure that there isn't a power imbalance that can happen against her in a way, and that's a little bit gross. So once again, I do see that as a point in favor of some of the things that Edie has decided to do, but like I've said in the past, I still think that Edie is incredibly misguided and naive in the way that she approaches everything that she does, so I'm still pretty critical of that. And once again, still land on the side of the church overall in the end, even despite all of that. Still gross, though. Still gross. Though initially, metal mold printing machine, though initially lauded as a practical replacement for woodblock printing, after careful consideration, the Archbishop deemed it taboo for many reasons, particularly the following. 1. Risk of mass circulation of misinformation and malevolent rumors. 2. It is useless to illiterate commoners. 3. Risk of intensifying disparity between church branches. Another one that's pretty gross. So this is a printing press. So like newspapers, right? Makes it really, really quick to disperse information. whereas without a printing press, you have to write everything by hand. So, I mean, we see truth of circulation and misinformation in the real world today, but also it can be used on the opposite spectrum to, well, I mean, look at that. Risk of intensifying disparity between church branches. In other words, when information is readily available, knowledge is the enemy to, control, right, over people. So that's kind of a gross sort of situation. This is one of the best books that was added in DLC that helps EDI supporters, I feel like, because a lot of this stuff was missing before, and so I feel like this was written to kind of like enforce the other side of the argument, which I really actually enjoy that they're giving more of that information. So I think that's a good thing, because one of my biggest problems with Crimson Flower, is that the writing was so rushed that they missed out on so many details that would have helped support that side of the conflict. And I feel like I may have ended up on that side had they addressed those who slither in the dark and EDI's alliance with them a little bit better, and had they had more of stuff like this where it actually gave us some proof that the church did anything wrong to begin with, you know what I mean? So, yeah, it's interesting. Human autopsies, especially involving head or chest incisions. Though it is widely believed that this is medically relevant, such actions upon a corpse are considered desecration of the dead. Since white magic can be used to a similar end, autopsies were deemed taboo. A notable cardinal asserted that if medical science were to excel over faith-based white magic, it would destabilize the foundation of the church. A notable cardinal said this, not Rhea in this case. But this is a case of the church kind of being, once again, controlling in a way that feels gross. But I do find it interesting that it is a cardinal who said this and not Rhea herself. Alright, Romance of the World's Perdition. In the land of Thinis, where the old gods are said to live, the false god has awakened. Its looming, heteromorphic vessel was resurrected to sink the world to the depths of the ocean. It will bring extinction to all children of men and salvation to all beasts of the land, sky, and sea. For the children of men who spill too much of the blood of life, it promises only cruel retribution. The false god must be defeated before the world sinks into a watery grave. To this end, the children of men have erected pillars of light upon the land. Thinis, Malum, Septon, and Liam were utterly destroyed. Those lands have vanished from the world, yet even still the false god stands, and soon a flood aptly named Despair will drown this world. This is those who slither. All the way. Those pillars of light are those nukes that they've used in the past, and those are places that they have utterly destroyed. So the false god that they're referring to is probably Sothis and Rhea in the church, who they view as their enemy, right? And we've only gotten little bits and pieces of, from the Silver Snow route about why, perhaps, the Nabateans hate the church so much. There's some kind of rift there. Back in the day, there was some kind of rift between the Nabateans, which are some other race of people that are also... What I don't know is if the Nabateans are of the same race in some way as Rhea and Sethith and stuff, or if they're separate but connected in some way. They seem to have been connected in some way, I'm just not sure how much. They obviously... I don't know. We're gonna learn more in this route, I know we are, but... yeah. The land of Thinis. So our Fodlan must be what the Nabateans call Thinis. Was resurrected to sink the world to the depths of the ocean. They seem to think that it'll bring extinction. I could be reading this completely wrong, but I believe this is the Nabateans' focal point, or their viewpoint, and the false god in that case would be Sothis. And they seem to believe that it was a vessel was resurrected to sink the world to the depths of the ocean. Maybe there's something there. maybe Sothis had an original intent that was then changed, because she doesn't seem to be this being that's here to destroy everything, so... Cruel retribution. I could be reading this completely wrong, and I may have it flipped the opposite way. Maybe the false god is something to do with the Nabateans instead, I don't know, but... To this end... Alright, so the false god must be defeated. To this end, the children have erected pillars of light. So once again, this is the thing that makes me think that we're looking at the Nabateans, because they're the ones with the pillars of light, the nukes, right? Those lands have vanished from this world, yet even still the false god stands, and soon a flood aptly named Despair will drown this world. The children of men fled to the depths of the earth. Oh yeah, this is definitely the Nabateans, because they live underground now. Beyond the sight of the false god, beyond the embrace of the sacred sun, and beyond the reach of the waters of despair. They swore a fervent oath of revenge against the surface world, ruled by beasts, so they think of us as beasts, and against their tormentor, the false god, Sothis, Rhea, the church, etc. Dude, wild. Why do they see Sothis as this thing that was resurrected to sink the world? That's what I want to know. That's so interesting to me. That's so interesting to me. I want to know more about that, and I hope we get those answers. Alright, the Truth of Heroes relics. Now, this one's also interesting. Now, some people may view some of this stuff as like, oh, you're spoiling some of the things you're going to learn here. To be fair, especially as of late, in the last couple of weeks, people have been really, really loose in the comments section. People have spoiled several things for me in the comments section already for this route, including what we're reading here today. Things that were hinted at that I didn't really piece together, but then reading the comment kind of like solidified it for me. It's a little bit unfortunate, but at the same time, it's not the biggest spoilers in the world, so it's not too big of a deal. I was a little disappointed, but at any rate, I don't feel like these are spoilers necessarily. I feel like these are kind of like, because these don't outright tell us things necessarily, but they hint at things in interesting ways that gets my mind really thinking about it, and I really like that type of thing. I really like when something kind of like hints at the truth and allows you to piece it together yourself, which I feel like I'm getting a lot of with some of these books. So, wow, this episode is just like a weird lore one, isn't it? Hopefully you guys are enjoying this. I'm like, I can see it being annoying for some people who know the truth and are just listening to me say things that are probably just blatantly wrong in some cases. But yeah, I don't know. I'm having fun with this. So, the Truth of Heroes relics. Let's go. I, a priest of blank, the findings of my investigation. I'm not going to say all the blanks. When a crest stone was removed while its relic was being wielded by a blank, all movement within the relic ceased. When the stone was returned, the relic once again came alive, right? It is beyond question that crest stones supply their associated relic with power of some kind, and the impetus of said power is clearly related to the crests that certain humans possess. Based on the composition of blank, it can be surmised that likely a creature akin to a wyvern, dragon people. We know Rhea turns into the Immaculate One. We've seen other, we haven't seen Keyhole or Sethleen turn into anything. Apparently they've lost that power because of the injuries that they took in the war. I don't know if they can eventually get that power back or what, but during the war they took a lot of damage, and supposedly they cannot transform now. However, strength is beyond compare to that of the wyvern bones. They are more durable than all materials other than crucible steel, making them ideal for crafting weaponry and absolutely inhabiting difficult to conceive, but one theory is it possible that the goddesses have potentially... I think that's saying that, like, the goddesses... Yeah, I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that. Heroes relics have been found that are not linked to the 10 elites. Blank the 10 elites. Blank, could it be that others were gifted this power by the goddess as well? Perhaps the disturbing that the relics were not gifts from the goddess. Additionally, the same crest stones. Many of the hypotheses. I am desperate to find the truth of it all. Yeah, I can definitely see why this book ended up here. These are like the main secrets that the church doesn't want out there. Is, these heroes relics. Yeah. I've seen comments that tell me basically kind of more about what the heroes relics are. So I don't necessarily want to talk about it here because I feel like even though I've been spoiled, I don't know if everybody's put it together. I think that all of the clues are there for you to be able to put it together by this point and everything that we know, but I'm just not going to talk about it. The time has come, I must discard. I dare say the goddess would not wish for me to learn more than I already have. So this person just stopped studying this stuff, it kind of sounds like, because they were apparently very shook by what they learned. And yeah, what they learned is pretty dark indeed. Pretty sad in some ways, but yeah. Fragments of a forgotten memoir. The Alel Forest. It has been several months since King Nemesis was defeated, and the tides of war have turned from bad to worse. I have received news that my friend Daphnel has fallen as well. Those zealots are after our heads, and those of our leaders. All that is left for us is to disappear into the muddy water Saros has created. My long life may soon come to an end. Once again, these are Nabateans. Friend Daphnel. Who's from the house Daphnel? The last names are the ones that I forget the most, I feel like. Okay, no Daphnels on last names here. Where else have we heard those last names then? Daphnel. Hold on, not a name, but it's a crest. Who has the crest of Daphnel? Ah, Ingrid has it. So that's interesting. My friend Daphnel, I think that means that the 10 elites are actually Nabateans. Is that the first time I'm putting that together? So the 10 elites weren't actually heroes on the side of the church, but they were Nabateans. They were the enemy? Did I know that already? I may have known that already. Man, I've forgotten just as much as I've learned. I mean, this game came out over a year ago at this point, so there's so much at the beginning that I've forgotten. Alright, anyway, I somehow escaped with my life, but I fear the end is near. Most of my clan has already surrendered to the Empire. To my surprise, I am told their safety was guaranteed. Those who slither, we know, have been working with the Empire for a long time, right? I, however, am a different matter. My life, along with my sacred weapon, will unquestionably be forfeit. My dear son and daughter, I hope you can forgive me one day. So yes, the 10 elites, it sounds like we're Nabateans. This totally makes sense. They had the crest weapons, and why they had the crest weapons totally makes sense. We'll get there. Why does Saros despise us so? What did King Nemesis do to incur such unyielding wrath? Perhaps it was a mistake to accept his offer. In any case, that is all in the distant past now. Blank, and before his body falls to ash, the evil ... I don't know what that means. I think that one's going to be relevant in this route. So much good stuff. This one was about the months of the calendar and how basically the church changed the names of the month in order to better align with church teachings and lore and stuff. So I thought that one was kind of boring, and so we're not going to read that one. Oh my gosh, we just talked about lore for like more than half this episode, I feel like. Hopefully you guys are okay with that. I'm speculating a lot because I don't have all of the answers. I mean, it's amazing that I'm how far into this game? 300 plus hours, I believe. And I don't know everything yet. And I think that's, largely because there's so many big things apparently that are learned in Claude's route here, but man, it's just crazy. I mean, look at this. 261 hours. Add another 30 from the other half of Crimson Flower that we did. And then add in what? 8 to 10 to 12. I can't remember how long the DLC was. 8 to 12 hours on top of that from the DLC, and that's how much I've played this game. Oh, you know what? I can actually check how many hours roughly. 335 hours. 335 hours. That's crazy. Okay, well, at any rate, we're going to end this episode here. So thank you all for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.